and it's connecting, and we're running a minute or two late because you guys just threw down your shovels
We did.
digging out the pool to get over here, right?
We were on a couple of job sites, that's correct.
So I have Bill and Sam with me. Oh gosh, I'm going to do this the whole time.
I'm slide over.
Anyway, I have Bill and Sam with me with Avree Pools, Avree Custom Pools, and you guys are partners in that?
We are, correct.
Well, I get asked about pools all the time, so I'm going to love this conversation. I'm going to love that you have answers for it.
We do,
So,
hopefully. We'll try.
But we were talking just before everything went live, and I didn't get the answer to that. So I met Bill, how long ago?
6 years ago, we bought our first house in Tuscan Lakes.
Yeah. And you weren't doing pools then. What got you guys into pools? I think you met Sam was part of the story,
Actually,
right?
Sam put my pool in about 1.5 years ago, and that's kind of how I got into the business, but Sam's been in the business much longer. I'll let him give it more detailed.
It was back in 2012. I was actually working for a heavy equipment rental company, and we rented a lot of excavators and machinery to excavators for pool companies. And I went to one of my contractors. I said, "Man, I really want to kind of see what you guys do." And went to a job site with him that day, and I was hooked. I said, "Man, I got to get into the pool industry." So interviewed at a couple of big companies in Houston, and worked for two of the largest builders in the state for about 2 years, and decided that, man, I think I can do this on my own. I'll give it a shot. So first kind of 2 years of the business, which would have been 2018, 2019, I kind of stayed very local. Built a lot of pools kind of in the League City, just immediate area. And then Bill was a client of mine in early
2020,
early 2020, and him and I kind of got together, and he was kind of stepping back from the real estate business, and I was ready to kind of take a step forward in the pool business and kind of put our minds together and started growing. So
Cool. And you built a pool in that great house.
I did, yeah.
You did.
I had to throw that one in there.
That was our awesome realtor for that house. That's correct.
No, I appreciate it. So you had written down some of the common questions that you guys get, and I have to put it in a book because I won't remember otherwise.
That's okay.
But one of the big questions, and I get asked that question quite a bit. I'm sure that's your big question. So, how much does it cost to put in a pool?
How much does it cost? So that's the magic question, and
That's kind of like how much it costs to buy a house, right?
Yep.
correct. There is no one answer for that. It depends on a variety of options. And Sam, what are we starting at now? 75, 80,000?
Yeah, so it all kind of just depends on what you want. For a nice custom pool spa combo, it's going to be about 75 to 80,000. We can do a standard swimming pool in a lot of residential neighborhoods for a little bit less than that, and then kind of the sky's the limit from there. And one of the things that I kind of tell my homeowners whenever I meet them for the first time is they can be kind of like your real estate agent, because we can design you something for however much money you really want, and kind of we don't want to show you a house that's $100,000 more than your budget, because you're going to fall in love with it.
Oh, sure.
And you guys are going to want it, and then it's kind of it's a hard conversation after that. So
Yeah.
we really try to get people to think about what is a good budget in mind for them, and we kind of work
Before
towards
you
that
come
number.
with the
pretty design.
the pretty designs
Yes,
and
ma'am.
pictures and stuff, so that you kind of keep them in their lane. So to
Correct.
speak.
Yeah.
No, same thing that I do. Like I wouldn't go show a $400,000 house buyer a $1 million house. Like
Correct.
that would be disappointing.
And they're going to love it, right?
No, they're going to hate me.
They may not
They're
like
gonna love
you.
the house, they're gonna hate you.
love the
Yeah,
house.
they're going to love the house. They're going to hate me. So no,
Exactly.
I love that you
Yeah.
have that first consult.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit more expensive than when I priced a pool 30 years ago, but so is the house. And then, another question, because it is a little bit of a mess, how long does it take to build a pool?
Yeah. So.
Does it matter whether you build one in the summer or in the winter? Just curious.
It doesn't. Really, the thing that hinders the kind of the timeline of the process is going to be weather. Weather, and then availability of materials and things like that. COVID has not only impacted all of our lives on a daily basis, but certainly a lot of the things that we purchase from other countries, such as China, and a lot of our stone and stuff like that comes from Turkey, and those things are starting to become more hard to get. So I'd say on average right now we're running about 2 to 3 months with a lot of delays and a lot of weather. Some projects a little bit faster, some projects a little bit longer. It just depends.
Cool.
So
And so tell me a little bit, because we touched briefly on the design. Like what's popular designs that you're seeing right now?
Right now.
And then how do you go about the design process? Are you looking at the yard? Are you looking at what's popular?
Yeah, so one of the things that our designers do is whenever we come out and meet with you guys is we'll give you an iPad full of, hundreds of pools that we've built and designed. And, we kind of give that to you and let you and your loved one kind of sit on the patio, or we take our measurements of the yard and kind of see the things that we need to see. Cool. And after that is over, then they can kind of show us, yeah, we kind of like that look, we like this, we like that. And then we'll put some of our own input into it as well to kind of, tell homeowners, hey, I think this would look really cool, or maybe the hot tub over here. And I'd say right now it's more of the modern and straight line, kind of design look versus kind of the free form tropical feel. But we still do get several of those clients as well.
Yeah.
So
cool. And you guys take care of the permitting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How long does the permitting take? I'm just curious.
So typically in League City, the way our process works, once we get a design and the customer's 100% happy with the design, and we'll do an internal audit on it, get the construction plans ready. That usually takes a week or two. Then we'll send them out to city. That usually takes a week or two, depending on how busy they are. And then we'll send them out to HOA. And the HOAs normally are 30 days. Sometimes it's shorter than that, but we tell all the customers, plan on 30 days for your HOAs, just in case.
So from the time they kind of sit with you and kind of get a design in mind, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say they're probably looking at a couple of months?
Yeah, I'd say typically between 45 and 60 days.
Yeah. Cool beans. And then what do they do as far as financing and stuff on the pool?
So we have a couple of different financing. There's some great local banks that we work with. So they'll finance a good portion of the project. Some of them will even have the equity on top of the projected equity on top of what your current home value is.
So is there like an out-of-pocket down payment normally associated with getting the pool? Or?
No, so we usually take a 1% to 5% down payment, depending on what the project is. But the banks typically do not require a down payment.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. And then what was the other question I had? I had a question all by myself. Other than when could they get started in my backyard?
So you brought up financing and the equity. What does, from a real estate perspective, what does the typical pool add to the value of the house?
Gosh, that's kind of like asking me if I remodel my kitchen, will I get my value back out? I mean, it really depends on so many. Like, this is just not an easy answer. Kind of like, how much is a pool going to cost? It depends what you do. Mm-hmm. And then I think on average, I think people can, depending on the house, right? I think on average, people can really get most of that equity back. Mm-hmm. If you have a $200,000 house and you put an $80,000 pool in there, there's a good chance you won't get your equity back.
Yeah, you're not going to get it all back.
Right. So I think it really depends on the functionality of the backyard and how it sits and all that stuff. If you guys did a good job on the design part of it, because I mean, honestly, I've sold houses and they've wanted to know how much it would cost to fill in the pool, right?
Sure.
That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, when you have a house with a pool, you're going to get some pretty good equity back out of that, if not the full amount, pretty close to it.
Good.
So.
That means all the money that they spend with us, hopefully they get back in equity.
That's right, and you get to enjoy it while you're staying there. So
almost like it's free.
Yeah.
So, and Deb, what are some of the most common questions when clients are looking at new homes that don't have a pool in their backyard?
Will the pool fit back here?
Sure.
Yeah. No, will the pool fit back here? And I think, so that's one of the things that they're looking at, yard size. I think one of the misconceptions that I run into most frequently is they think they won't be able to fit a pool in there, when in actuality there is enough room to fit in a pool. And of course, you guys know you have your easements and setbacks and all that kind of stuff to work with. But most of the time, the house is big enough to have a pool.
Sure.
And then, of course, they don't want one of those situations where you walk off your patio and walk into the pool, right? So,
absolutely.
Do you guys come across that very often where you have a problem with getting the pool to fit?
No, I was going to say, so we build Marbella, Tuscan Lakes, Hidden Lakes, across 45, Brittany Lake. So basically all the subdivisions in League City, I think we've put a pool in.
Sure.
And how many of them have we not been able to put in? Very few.
Very few. And one of the great things that you know, your clients can do if you guys find a home that you absolutely love and you're not sure if a pool will fit, is you guys can send us the survey of the home, and we'll do a design free of charge, just to kind of see what will fit in the backyard and kind of what kind of space we're working with as far as design goes. And we do that for a lot of new home builders as well, because a lot of these new homes are on tight lots, right? And so we'll do kind of a 3D rendering, and they'll put it up at their open house or whatever it is, just to show potential home buyers, you know, what will fit in the backyard. So it's might be something that you could offer to your clients.
Sure enough, and then one of the things that I'm sure is helpful to you guys when you guys get out there is if you guys already have a survey available, which would be in your closing documents, that probably helps you guys out a lot, right?
Yeah, we need the survey to start the design so we can figure out where it goes. And I'm saying 99% of the time, our clients typically have them.
So you either have it in your closing documents or you'll be paying for that. So anyway, if you're considering it, definitely dig out that survey, I would say.
For sure.
Absolutely.
What other kind of questions do you guys think you get most typically? I know a good question. Salt water versus chlorine pools. You're laughing.
You want me to take that one?
Oh, I'm sitting back.
we have a I don't know what you would call it. We agree to disagree on a couple of things. So that might be one of them.
That's everybody asks that question, and the truth is there is no good answer to that. There's plus and minuses to saltwater pools. Even, you know, we've asked our reps on that sell all the equipment, what do you think about this and with saltwater? And I mean, saltwater is going to be more corrosive, so the longevity of the equipment is not going to be as long, but I think it's easy to take care of. The water feels good, so that's kind of the trade-off.
Yeah, it is. And kind of one of the most biggest misconceptions of having a saltwater pool is that there's not as much chlorine in my pool. Right. There's actually the same amount, if not more, chlorine in a saltwater pool than there is in just a traditional chlorine pool. Because that saltwater generator that we put in there, it's continuously creating chlorine, and us as humans, right, we forget to put chlorine into our pools. So it is a little bit easier on the maintenance side of owning a pool ownership and kind of owning it. But it also, you know, kind of does a couple of other things that you have to watch out for.
Well, so that leads to another really good question, Sam, is, you know, so if you get a pool and everything else, how hard is the maintenance side of that?
Yeah, so what I kind of tell my homeowners is if you can carve out 1 hour of your life every single week and be very, very diligent about it, it's not hard at all. What we do as part of our kind of pool packages right at the end is we take you through what we call pool school. And it's a very comprehensive meeting. You know, you kind of go over everything there is to know about owning a swimming pool, from water chemistry to what each pump does and things like that. And if you can carve out an hour for yourself every single week, it's totally something you can do. If not, obviously there's tons of pool professionals out there that can maintain the pool for you.
Man, you guys make me think I might like to drag Mickey sitting behind the camera. He always is behind the camera. might like to drag Mickey out there in a start to finish and just do build a pool 101 video. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be fun.
Like from start to finish. Yeah. So anyway,
absolutely.
we should talk about that.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any other questions on this, feel free to post it in the link below. I'm sure you guys will share this on your Facebook page as well.
Absolutely.
And answer any questions that come up. And it's been a pleasure having you guys over. And absolutely, pools is something I get asked about a lot and get it at with questions. So I appreciate it.
All right.
Cool. I still don't have an answer for whether you should do chlorine or saltwater. Thanks for joining.